For us here in the central part of Uganda, when I get married on my wedding day, lavish wedding day, do you know what they give me as gifts? They'll bring ceramic plates, cups, mats. By the end of the first year, all those things are broken. There is nothing you even have to get to keep. But these guys begin their marriage with like 300 cows worth 1.5. That is about $420 each. Calculate, guys. Now, how can we compete with such people, guys? Hello, my people. Hope you are doing great. Welcome to Hanimu's World. Welcome to the channel that aims at changing the narrative of African village life. A channel that inspires you to do agriculture, farming, in order to improve on your food security and income. A channel that is one of a kind because it exposes the African village kind of life in a way that the media doesn't show it, guys. This channel is not about reminding you of those olden days in the village with your grandmother. No. If you are reminded, that is okay, but the most important aim of this channel is to show you that you can really improve that African village life into something good, guys. To change your perception about the African village life, not thinking that African village life is always primitive way of living, guys. No, you can integrate that primitive way of living with a modern way of setting, then you make a very beautiful, natural and healthy environment for you to live. So please, if you're interested in such vlogs, consider to subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, like and share. I was invited by my colleague at work to go and attend his wedding in deep down in the village in the western part of my country. So we are kind of reluctant to go and attend that wedding because we've never attended any village kind of wedding in our lives. But guys, trust me, it changed the way we think for the rest of our life, guys, and we don't regret having gone to that wedding. So we realize very many things. In the western part of our country, most of the guys there, due to their custom, all their culture, they are supposed to live in huts. Most of them, all their grannies used to live in huts. It is their culture, that is it. So I was so much surprised that their huts were still there, but these guys constructed good, modern, well-equipped with modern interior. But deep down in the villages, we are shocked to see the way they were keeping their positive cultural practices, guys. These guys, whether they are educated or not, they know what culture is. They know where they come from. They don't forget where they come from, guys. These guys don't sell the customary land. They don't sell their village land to come to Kampala and do their own stuff. No, they preserve all their land. The land that was for their great grandees is preserved, and they utilize this land. They know the usefulness of this land. They do cattle farming on a large scale, guys. They do goat farming. They do matoke plantation. They do plant trees on acres and acres of land. In that, if someone is already educated, they get white collar jobs in Kampala, yes, in the town, but they don't forget where they come from. And in most cases, for the boys, whether you have a house in Kampala, it doesn't matter. But in most cases, their first money they construct modern houses in their villages. They don't forget their villages. So you will find those traditional huts there where they grew from, and you will find a flat, a bungalow in a modern way, built in a modern way. Installed tiles, installed showers, jacuzzi, wash basins, good interior, gypsum boards, deep down in the village. So they live a modern life, but deep down in their villages, so that when they come to the village, they are so much comfortable and live a natural yet a healthy way of living. So we found out that these guys have their cultural wedding. They do their wedding in a cultural way. For us here in the western part of for us here in the central part of my country, what we know about weddings is entertainment. So a wedding without a musician is not a wedding. So when we reached there, we are shocked by these guys. Instead of us enjoying the wedding with music and what, these guys were bringing public speakers. No, we are bringing speakers. Their relatives were speaking. We had like over 100 speakers plus. Kumbe realized that that was a trick. Whoever comes and speaks according to their culture has to award a gift. And in most cases, the gifts they award in terms of money or cows. For me, I came with a gift. I had to hide my car gift because people were talking awarding in terms of millions and cows, not just these cows, but real cows worth like 1.5, at least minimum 1.5 Ugandan shillings. That is 400. That is about $420. One cow. Imagine, as gifts. So by the end of the wedding, you find that by the end of the wedding, these brides have gotten like 300 cattle, all 200 cattle, all 100 cattle, depending on the number of speakers that have spoken. Now, guys, please note that point. For us here in the central part of Uganda, when I get married on my wedding day, lavish wedding day, do you know what they give me as gifts? They'll bring ceramic plates, cups, mats. By the end of the first year, all those things are broken. There is nothing you even have to get to keep. But these guys begin their marriage with like 300 cows worth 1.5. That is about $420 each. Calculate, guys. Now, how can we compete with such people, guys? We cannot. That's why even if they come into town and they do businesses, they cannot fail in business. Though at the end of the day, even if they involve any business shop, they easily go back to their village and sell their cattle. And remember, when they award these cattle, they have the land to rear them. They don't sell their lands. They don't disband of their village customary land. No, they invest in that village customary land of theirs. But for us here in Central, the house that your grandparent used to live in is the one that remains there on like a 50 by 50 feet, and the rest of land is almost sold off for our brothers or sisters to come and do business in Kampala. At the end of the time, we are doing business in Kampala just to pay rent. So the business in most cases perishes off, and yet you have nowhere to go back in the village. Unlike these guys. So when we went there, we were so much shocked, and we decided to do the same. We decided to do the same, but in a different way. After that journey, we felt a need to be with land deep down in the village. So we had to look for land. We had to look for land in the village so that we have the same kind of life, but in a different way for our kids now. We decided to change the way we perceive the African village kind of life. We decided to buy land, develop that land, put things that will bring income, construct a house, depending on our pocket, that can give us a comfortable way of living in life. A modern, comfortable, and natural way of living in the village. And guys, since then, we've never regretted. So we had to buy land, start construction. So at the end of our construction of the house in the village, that is when COVID-19 emerged. When COVID-19 came, it came and it found us so much prepared. We even never knew that COVID-19 would come and would favor the African village life setting, guys. It favored the African village life setting. Because when it came, we just got our kids, took them to the village. Because the kids are locked in town, the kids will be locked in a fence, and the activities that take place in town are not good for the kids' welfare under a lockdown. So we had to just close our townhouse and move to the village. So when we moved to the village, remember we had already constructed a house. We began to cultivate the land. We began to construct houses for the animals and do projects. We are so busy during COVID-19 as others were suffering there. We are not working. We are not doing this. We are closed. You guys, we are suffering psychologically. We are under lock. For us, our kids were busy jumping up and down, going up and down, rearing their goats, and doing very many activities in the village. And trust me, we've never moved back. There is nothing we need to do in town, guys. Because after setting your African village life in a modern way, you put projects that will bring income to you. You really don't need anything in town. You just go to town maybe for shopping, maybe for errands, maybe you have some businesses there, but no, African village life is the best, and the kids really loved it. Kids really loved it, and from that day of COVID, they told me, "Mommy, we are not going back to town." And we've never gone back to town. So we had to bring all our property to the village, and that is when we began our African village life in a modern way. We integrated the primitive life of living with the modern way of living up to now, and we've never regretted, guys. So if you've really enjoyed the story, if you've really learned some lessons in this story, please consider to subscribe to my channel down there, hit the notification bell, comment and share, guys.